Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Codex Podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Sonny Kruger, and with me are my co-hosts, Jamie Wojcik and Tim Morris.
How's it going, guys?
We had a good show ahead of you today. Today, we will be reviewing Green Arrow, the Longbow Hunters. As usual, we'll be doing Do You Know? Our topic of the week, which I just mentioned on our pre-show, is which comic, movie, or show got it right? Yeah.
I am very curious to see what the answers are.
Yeah, it was a good, got me going, got me thinking. I'm like, yeah, so it'll be a good, interesting topic to discuss. And as usual, Jamie has the top 3 comments, which we'll go over later. But
from
for now,
Comic Character of the Day group on Facebook. So guys, go check them out. And don't forget to check out a couple of things that we've done lately, which will be up in the top of the screen. So you guys click on it and go see.
Yep. But now we start us off with some comic book news. Jamie, tell us about this movie that is, let's just say, interesting to discuss, especially the reviews, and that is Morbius.
All right. This has been the moment I've been waiting for since the review, and you guys bashing me repeatedly talking about Jared Leto. The movie's trash. Okay. No, Rotten Tomatoes came out and basically said that it's the worst movie. But the funniest part is that a lot of people are saying that the scenes that you see in the trailer are just about the most that's it. That's the exciting scenes in the movie.
They weren't too exciting.
Yeah, and they weren't too great. And they said even in the movie that it was not put together right. It made no sense on why these scenes were in the spots that they were.
I've heard a lot of things since the movies come out.
And a lot of people are kind of upset about the Michael Keaton cameo, which wasn't a surprise because we did see him in the trailer. That part is not in the movie. There is
wow. I thought you were going to say there was like he's literally in it for 1 second, but it's
no. He's an end credit scene. But it has nothing to do with that scene that we seen. And it makes no sense either to me because I read what happened and I don't think I want to spoil it for anybody. So
I don't think anybody's going to care.
Okay, so like you could tell me.
Yeah. So I'll just say it on here. So basically at the end of the movie, at the end credit scene, somehow the things that happened in No Way Home send Michael Keaton into the Sonyverse. He gets let go from the police because they can't find a record on him. He finds Morbius, talks to him, says, we should form a team of our own. My question, cool, Sinister Six. Who's Spider-Man? Are they fighting?
Well, see, the funny thing is I read somewhere that the director didn't even know there was that Spider-Man poster in the background. Like he had no idea it was there. That scene's not even in the movie.
That scene's not even in the movie.
Nope, not at all. And he can't clarify which Spider-Man is in that universe. Yeah. Or if there is one.
So, and then my favorite part is the trolling on Tyrese Gibson. Because man deserves it.
Yes. We need to talk about that.
The man worth 1,000 tears. The man worth 1,000 tears.
He is passionate about his projects.
Oh, I am. This is
no, Tyrese.
Oh, no, he's not. He doesn't understand half of his projects. Supposedly, Martin Scorsese's reaching out saying Morbius was the best cinematic adventure he's ever had in his life. And then Tyrese Gibson's like, yeah, man. Oh, my God. I can't believe it. And people are like, should we tell him?
Scorsese said, I was wrong. I was completely wrong. Comic book movies are not trash. They're great cinematic masterpieces.
Yeah.
I have it screenshotted. Would you like me to read it?
Yes, do it.
So here's what supposedly Martin Scorsese said. First of all, the word against is spelled wrong. I was aghast to find out it was based on a comic book. This is the truest height of cinema, and even I cannot top it. A wise man admits when he is wrong, and I was wrong. I apologize to all comic book movies. And Tyrese Gibson says,
Oh my
wow,
God.
wow, wow. I can't believe what just happened. Whoa, cheers and hats off to you. Daniel Espinoza. This is so amazing, King. This is the king of kings of cinema, Martin Scorsese. This is huge. Dot, 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 dot.
Yeah, and then it just got worse from there.
Oh my
I
gosh.
thought the movie was going to be a joke. I didn't know people's personal lives were going to be a joke as well in this. So, Sonny, what do you think about the reviews that it's getting so far? And better question to both of you: are you going to watch it? Because I know I'm going to grab some popcorn and laugh throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, it's one of those more, like you said, maybe to laugh and just kind of how bad it is, but I'm not rushing to see it. I'll wait till it's on Disney Plus or something.
It'll never be on Disney Plus.
Dang it. Well, somehow I'll wait. I'll see it somehow. I'm not going to pay money to go to the theater and see it, but I did see that Rotten Tomatoes gave it 16%.
Yep.
But one thing that's pretty interesting,
audience rating was up.
Audience, I looked at like right now, the audience rating is at 70%.
That's a lie. Like the audience doesn't know. I think what's happening is they're going in there and rate jumping. Like people are rating it super high on purpose to get it.
They did the same thing with Justice League. They started rate dumping it.
Yeah.
Like so that way they can get the Snyder cut.
Yep.
Yeah. Dude. So maybe they're giving it a high rating so that there's no more Morbius. They're just like, okay, just give it a nice rating so that there's no special cuts, no director's cuts or anything like that. Or maybe it's Tyrese Gibson. Maybe he's making a bunch of accounts. 100%, greatest
50,072.
This one I'm naming Martin Scorsese Rocks 23.
Yeah. Tyrese, have you been given all of it 100%? Well, yeah, because it's a great movie. Maybe you should mix it up a little bit. All right, 99%.
99% Tyrese Morbius.
Oh my God. I will buy this movie when it is on sale on Vudu for $4.99. I will wait that long.
I wouldn't even pay my hard-earned money to see this in any format. I will stream this and hopefully get a lawsuit against me because it'd be so worth it.
Pirating is illegal, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't listen to me. You know, it'll be a work in development. Which, speaking of developing, Tim, there's something brewing in WB right now.
So this goes into things that we have talked about before on in personal conversation and on other episodes of the podcast. So Warner Brothers is reportedly, now I think this is currently rumor mill stuff, but they're reportedly developing a DC Extended Universe Crisis Event movie. And with just that title alone, that actually kind of makes sense. So let me break it down for you. This is from the direct.com. That's where this article is. And basically what it says is Warner Brothers is
It's not Bleeding Cool?
No, not at all. They're preparing for a massive new slate of projects within the DC Extended Universe, like Black Adam and Shazam Fury of the Gods and The Flash coming out. And The Flash is supposed to change everything. The multiverse going into the Keaton universe.
Including himself from what we talked about in the pre-show.
Exactly. But thus far, you know, the biggest crossover event with DCEU came with Justice League, like what Marvel did with the Avengers. But what they're talking about here is that the events in The Flash are going to lead up to a Crisis on Infinite Earths type event. And there's one guy on Twitter, it's Geeks Worldwide, Casey Walsh, and he's pretty known for getting a lot of things right and some things wrong. And one of the tweets that he says is, so DC/WB's plan is to build a Crisis on Infinite Earths event, if that wasn't obvious already. And another person says that Batfleck is still very much done with the DCEU, but he's leaving the door open for him to come back during a Crisis event if it makes sense. So, yeah, with the movies that are coming out with Shazam and the third Wonder Woman that is slated to start production at some point, plus Black Adam and all that stuff, I think they're finally building the foundation. Justice League was an abysmal failure, and then the Snyder Cut came out. And with The Flash, that's going to be their reset, right? Or at least the start of the Crisis event. And it makes sense. It really does. A lot of people are saying never to expect another Snyder DC movie ever again. That's done. And I think that Warner Brothers is trying really hard to move past that, which makes sense about some other stuff that we're going to talk about later in the news. And with Ben Affleck being done as Batman and other changes being made. But Sonny, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, well, Crisis obviously, you hope that they do an amazing job with the movie, but it's one of those books, Crisis on Infinite Earths is so long and there's so many characters. They can't make it too close to the comic because it'd be way too long. So you just hope that if it was to come out, they do it somewhat justice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking like an Avengers Infinity War, something like that.
Right.
They'd be amazing if they maybe a 2-part movie. But like I said, even if they just get the characters that are in the movie so far, you understand that they can't get everybody. But
I think we can count on them.
I
think we can count on them trying to mash it all into a 2.5-hour movie and being like, we did great. And the fans are like, this is horrible.
Yeah, but I hope not. Yeah, well, hope. And then too, obviously, it would be a long time because we see like Black Adam again was just, was pushed back. What is it till now? Is it like October?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so
it'd be a good horror movie slot right there.
Yeah, so Crisis, if there's a Crisis movie, it'll be, I think 2025 at the earliest.
My hopes are not high for it being good.
You need better.
What about you, Jamie? What are you, Jamie?
Well, actually, this kind of ties into one of our other news topics that we can bring up in here because we can transition. This is our show. We do what we want. But with that happening, we talked about it on the pre-show a little bit. Ezra Miller got arrested again. Not shocking. And they're talking about Warner Brothers in negotiations to bring someone else in. At this time. Now, depending on what they find, it could change, but it looks like Grant Gustin will probably helm the Flash, which would make sense because now you got Sasha Calle, who's playing Supergirl in the Flash movie, basically taking over for Superman, Henry Cavill, who's still saying that he's Superman, but not.
Right.
I got the suit in my closet. I promise. I could just put it on and walk on set.
Ready to go, DC. Whenever you call me, I'm there.
Yeah. But this would actually play well if we had a Crisis event, because then you could take separate worlds and make your team in one.
We'll see if they do the Crisis event correctly. They can, they can remove some of those legacy characters and have it make sense to put in Supergirl or a new Flash or use Keaton as Batman from there forward. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't use Keaton. I'd use Batfleck or
whoever
Battison,
they decide to use.
Battison, because that makes sense to bring Battison into the universe now and have him be
the new Batman.
The new Batman.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be great. As far as the characters, now you can kind of go younger and see what you can do with what you have in your hands. Because obviously they have an idea. I think they were thinking Flashpoint would be that idea to carry them on into the future. But now with Ezra Miller, you got to rewrite that. Like there's no going back, and you need to figure out a way to do it. And this would catapult you to that era of, hey, now, we can actually hang with Infinity War. We can hang with Endgame.
Yeah.
It's going to just take one movie in order to do that. No one would have thought Iron Man would have been that movie for Marvel. All they need is
good point.
It could be Black Adam that transcends everything. He's transcending the hierarchy. So. If you haven't listened to Dwayne Johnson on Instagram for 5 years already, since he got cast as his role, the hierarchy of DC is going to change. Well, I hope it does.
DC Super Pets.
Yeah. And Keanu Reeves is going to be amazing. But yeah, Kevin Hart can only do so much carrying everybody on his back. So
that's very true. That's very true.
We'll see how that goes. But boys, what do you say about new characters replacing these legacy characters and the potential of this Crisis event really taking over and bringing us a new era of DCEU?
Hopefully they do the Anti-Monitor justice. They don't be cheap on him.
Yeah, like huge, they did it with the CW show.
Yeah.
And they did their best with what they had. I'll give them that. Obviously, the budget's not that high.
No,
So-
but on the CW shows, you had Green Arrow already established, Flash was already established, Supergirl was already established as the super character in the CW Arrowverse, et cetera, et cetera.
What's his name was too?
The guy that's playing Superman.
Tyler or something. The dude,
Yeah.
the dude's playing Superman. Superman.
Yeah.
Lois.
Yeah, but I mean they built the Arrowverse from the ground up, and they did good, like you said, Jamie. They did good with what they had, and the Crisis event that was on there went across all programs, all shows, and a lot of people really enjoyed it. However, another thing that's going on right now with DC, they seem to be super huge in the news. Discovery, the channel that does quasi pseudo reality programs and kind of sort of history and knowledge and education programs
and Ghost Adventures,
and that too. Warner Brothers and Discovery have merged together. They are now one company, and Discovery now owns DC Comics. So let me go into that a little bit. Now,
I just want to say for the record real fast that this was happening like a year ago.
Oh yeah.
But they made it kind of like, we're going to be working our way into getting it. And what does history know about,
Well, take a look at history and companies that have no idea how to run a comic book shop, owning a comic book shop. Let's talk about Acclaim with Valiant real quick. What happened with that? That tanked.
Yeah, we got Man of War.
That's very true. That they ended the Valiant line and then restructured, restarted, and everybody hated it. Now, Discovery here, this article is from Cosmic Book News, and basically what's going on is Discovery and Warner Brothers are now merged into a company. They own things like Warner Media, HBO Max, DC Comics is part of that, the Discovery Channel, and all subsidiary channels, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, with that means that people are starting to leave DC Comics, like in executive positions and things of that nature, and people in higher ups on Warner Media and the general manager of HBO Max and things like that. They're starting to make their way out, and other people are starting to be replaced. Now, as far as like who and what and things like that, I don't really have any idea on that stuff. But the thing is with DC, already, like the offices in California, people don't have their own space. It's a shared desk program. So whoever gets in there first gets the desk that they want, and nobody gets to have their own personality and things like that as far as, their office space and things like that. Jim Lee, I'm sure, has his own office, and other people.
Of course he does. He's right. Jim Lee.
Taylor has his own office, and Tinian and et cetera, et cetera. I'm sure they do.
Tinian's leaving DC, so there's going to be an open spot.
That might be part of the reason why, but things have been shaken up at DC, and not in a good way, for a long time. Now, my personal opinion is that with Discovery, whoever they put at the helm of DC, Jim Lee's had his time, and whatever position he's in, he needs to be removed or taken out or put back down to artwork, and let him just go there. Whoever they put in charge needs to have a history in the comics medium, especially in the back room, with business side of things. And they really need to stop putting their focus on Batman so much, and let some of these other characters breathe, and let them come out and let them help hold the line too. That's wishful thinking, but it's something I can hope for. I hope that this merger is not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think it's going to be good, but I think that if they do it right, if they do the structure right and the change and the transition, good things can happen. Jamie?
Oh, you don't want to hear my opinion on this?
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess you do. First off, Jim Lee's a god. Never use his name out of context again. Secondly, I agree with the Batman titles. Yeah, they could lessen them and give more characters time to breathe, but it isn't the structure. Tinian's leaving because Tinian wants to create her own work. And that's what he wanted. That's what he stated. That's what he's going by. And you got to go with that because that's fact. As far as everything else going on, I mean, they just brought on Zdarsky. They're starting to make changes. They're starting to make creative moves. They're going in the right direction. Now, considering if this is Discovery saying, hey, Lee, you know how comics work. Take the helm here. You really don't have the helm, but now you do.
Well, did he have the helm for New 52?
And
you, okay, because you and I have talked about that, and you and I both agree that New 52 was not a bad idea. It was just
implemented wrong.
Exactly.
So,
it was a great idea.
Yeah. So the thing is, though, is the deal had a lot of control. Once they let him go, he had a whole 5G thing planned out, which turned into, I think, Future State. Or not Future State. Yeah, Future State. I don't remember.
Future something.
I bought them all. No, it is Future State. I bought them all, and then none of them ended up happening of how they happened. The only one that's still going on is Green Lantern, and I don't understand it. And that's hard for me to say. So with everything that's going on now, bringing in this new creative teams, bringing in different aspects, having Tom Taylor exclusive to DC now, you're making right moves. You know, Joshua Williamson's already talking about how he's got, I listened to him, he's got stuff planned for the next year already that he's got to craft on his own. So I think they're going in the right direction. I think Discovery's kind of being like, okay, you know what? We're in here, but we don't understand it.
You think they're taking a hands-off approach?
Let's let the guys that understand it take the reins.
See, that would be the right thing.
I hope so, yeah.
You know, and that's what I'm seeing. Because I'm telling you right now, Discovery would not, if they went, hey, let's get Chip Zdarsky, and Discovery would be like, who is he?
Yeah.
You know, like, it doesn't make, get him. You know, like, it doesn't make any sense. But to go out and get guys like them and to bring up new up-and-comers. And that was a good thing that Future State did, was give up-and-comers a shot to be on a book.
Well, let me ask you this before, Sonny, you give your opinion. Do you think, and Sonny, if you have input on this, go ahead and toss it out. But do you think that it's too little too late?
No.
No, you don't think so?
How many times has Marvel filed for bankruptcy before they finally hit it?
That's very true.
How many times did you hear, what are they going to do? Their paper, the comics that they're printed on
are horrible.
Is the worst thing ever, and people are still buying it and eating it up. I'm telling you, what it's going to do is going to take one movie, and it's going to be Black Adam, more than likely, or Shazam: Fury of the Gods, and it's going to ignite, and we're going to be back in that nostalgia time of, this is what was fun, and you're not even going to know it because you're going to be in that time.
Fair enough. Okay.
For me, I don't think it's gonna be Black Adam or Shazam. Even though I'm not saying that they can't be good movies, I don't think they're gonna.
How dare you
bring it up to that level? I think it's gonna take one of the big, they're already known characters. I mean, obviously they're known, but I mean one of the huge. Characters.
Well, I mean, from what I've seen on reviews on Batman, that was just amazing, and I can't wait to see it on 19th when it comes out on HBO Max, so I can make make my own review about that. But like you said, Sonny, I feel like it. Like Iron Man wasn't. Sorry to take it away from you for a second, but Iron Man wasn't
C-list.
He wasn't even a big character, a big time player at that time. So it could be. You might be right. It might need a big character, but it might not be the big character that everyone thinks it's going to be.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They could come out with a Red Tornado movie because he was one of the 7 in Justice League, and it would blow box office doors. You know what I mean?
It'd be awesome if it was Red Tornado. Who did it?
It would.
Yeah. But even some people like 25 Batman comic books a month. I don't know.
I did not. I had to stop because of the fact that like my list was at the point where it was like, what am I getting this week? Batman the Killing, Batman Lizard, Batman Unknown, Batman Urban Legend, Batman the normal series, Batman and Robin and Batman. Like it was just, I didn't know what to do anymore.
I have one Batman title on my full list.
Detective Comics.
Giving other characters. Can't forget Detective Comics. They do need to start giving some other characters some of the spotlight, not just Batman. We know Batman, we love Batman, but let other characters shine.
Scale it back a little bit.
Bring back all the lanterns.
Saint
Give
Walker.
Guy Gardner his own series.
No, they did that. It was bad.
His own series. I want Saint Walker.
I want Saint Walker too. They did Larfleeze. I don't know how, but they did.
I want the Heckler.
Chip, the squirrel.
Chip would be great, and we could put him in the superhero pets. It work out perfect.
Hey, he might. Yeah, there's a big chance he might be in it. That'd be cool.
It's like
Yeah,
an end credit scene. You just see a squirrel with a nut, and it's like,
there he is. Already better than Morbius, just because of
Oh my god.
in the after credit scene. But that, like you did say, Tim, unfortunately, it could go down. It could be a downfall for them, but you hope that it's right. We want to see DC move in the right direction.
It's always darkest before the dawn, and I think DC at this moment in time is in some dark times. But like you said, Jamie, they're not making the wrong decisions, and it's not too little too late. They just have to weather the storm and get back on track.
Yeah, and it's how you come out on the other side. That's all it is. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna still be the same company, but it's like, what did you take from this? What
Mhm.
can we do? And
Yeah.
Williams is like, they're literally killing the Justice League. I heard him on an interview on a podcast, and he was literally saying it was the hardest comic to write and for me to have the artist draw because of who dies and how they get killed.
I'm very
like,
curious about this.
Okay, I'm like, now you grab me here. Okay, I'm buying it. But then like he was talking about like his next year plan, and it's like, what are you talking about a year already?
So it almost seems to get like the Justice League. Like, you obviously want the story to be amazing. You don't just want it to be like, oh, we're killing them just to get people to buy it.
Each
And
panel is
everyone's
one of
mad
them just
about it.
falling dramatically.
Yeah,
I'd buy
page,
that. $4.99
dead,
done.
dead.
Can I have the
Yeah.
B cover and C cover too, please? Thank you.
Yeah.
Don't tell them that. Make them make a better story. I will not buy it unless it is a 10 out of 10 for me. And
If it's a
that's gonna be
9.9,
very hard.
You realize we all read Circle of Blood, right?
And loved it.
Or Man of War.
Juice.
Exo Manowar didn't get a 10 out of 10, but who knows? Maybe another story when I go through a full Exo Manowar story.
Sonny,
Like,
we'll
guys,
read it
we gotta do
together.
this. Yes.
Oh.
Next month no, I think it's this month. Amazon's releasing like an Exo Manowar trade.
And
Well, we know Jamie's birthday gift.
yeah, speaking of me possibly fighting Sonny and there being blood, Blade's daughter Bloodline is going to be in a comic for New Comic Book Day or Free Comic Book Day this year. Sonny, why don't you take it off on that one, buddy?
Yes, as you were saying, Blade's daughter Bloodline, also known as Brielle. Well, Brielle is her name, but Bloodline will be making her first appearance in X-Men, or she will be making her
X-Men.
first appearance in Avengers/X-Men #1, which comes out on Free Comic Book Day, May 7th. Yeah, that'll be very interesting to see Blade's daughter. And before, when I was reading into the article, that he had a daughter before that was going to be named Fallon Gray,
Mhm.
and it was in 2015. She was going to have her own comic, and they said that she was going to be almost like the anti Peter Parker. She was going to be popular. She was going to be pretty tough, but the series was canceled.
Yeah,
So
that worked out
didn't
well.
make it. Yeah. So we'll see what happens at Bloodline. But Bloodline, it does make sense. It's smart for her to make her first appearance in not like her own thing, but to appear in Avengers X-Men. Because people are just gonna like it because of Avengers X-Men. And then here she just happens to make her first appearance.
Is that her biological name, Bloodline?
Brielle.
Oh, okay.
And then she will go by the name of Bloodline. She'll be a vampire hunter as well. Yeah, so they haven't.
I would have
too
never
much
guessed.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she was gonna be like a what do you call it, like a psychiatrist or something at that point. Like
One of them sign twirlers. Hey, look,
I'm
there's
guessing
Blade's
she's gonna
daughter.
be like a college student or something. And the story will be written by Danny Lore and Karen S. Darbo. So we will see what happens when that comes out. And I know
Interesting.
when we brought it up in our conversation, you guys are having quite a bit of back and forth about Free Comic Book Day, and if later on, Tim, you're seeing people are going to end up selling it for a lot of money. So what do you guys think? Are you gonna get this on Free Comic Book Day? You're gonna sell it later on for $50?
I'm gonna get it on Comic Book Day because of the fact that it's Free Comic Book Day, and Free Comic Book Day means free comics that are on the table, not the stuff on the shelves that say Free Comic Book Day that have variants on them. But other than what me and Tim were talking about, it was that's something we're saving for breaking the code now, because
I was
we
gonna
realize
say,
how,
guys, this sounds like a good break in the code, but
yeah,
Well,
because it all deals with people speculating, and I'll go into it real quick. It's a matter of opinion versus a matter of fact,
Mhm.
and that's what it is.
Yeah, it's a conversation that I think, Jamie, while we were having it, because what you saw in the group chat went over to a phone call.
Yes.
And about 2 to 3 minutes into that phone call, I do believe, after some ramen noodles were thrown across the room and some Cheetos were ground into the carpet.
I was gonna end Codex for a minute there. I was like, do you not understand what I'm saying? You're like, I know what you're saying.
I got my legal pad and I was like, this is going to be a breaking the code. We're going to have a conversation about this. So yeah, anyways, let me tell you about what happened to me at work today.
Yeah. All right, bud. How's it going? Back to what we were doing.
So Bloodline causing a bit of trouble. We'll see what Bloodline causes in Marvel Comics.
Bloodlines have caused trouble throughout history.
Yeah, and speaking of it being a breaking the code, hey guys, let's get into our works.
Oh,
there you go. Sounds good. Well, as I was telling you guys in our schedule, I said mess ups featuring Sonny Kruger. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I spelled Kruger wrong.
I did. I was like, that's normal.
Oh, please. I know how to spell. Even if you watch my series, you know that I made sure to spell everybody's name right. Well, last month I was putting in my time where I do a little working as a PA, personal assistant. Hey, Sonny, could you bring this over here? Sure, right? The director of this short film was very nice, but it was a short film, which I'm not going to mention the name, because in the credits, I noticed that they spelled my name wrong. It said,
oh no, now we need to know.
Yes. Krugger. So at first I was
Kruger.
Kruger. And then I was like, you know, I didn't have such nice words to say. Stupid, how stupid could somebody be? And then like, you know what? Sometimes people make mistakes. Maybe they just hit G.
You know what, Martin Scorsese, you're never gonna amount to anything. I helped you and you can't even get my name right.
Did you throw something down dramatically and point at the screen?
No, and then I was
and then they die.
It was
did you do this?
No, I did not do a Leo. I did not.
That's Tim's daily act.
I'm done.
But I thought, I was like, how could they get it messed? And they said, okay, I understand people doing mistakes, but I will, forget the name of it on the show. But I said,
tell us after the show.
At least it wasn't my series. Then I would have been furious. If I made the mistake of spelling somebody's name wrong, then I would have been furious. But if somebody else, I can understand a mistake.
What if you made the mistake of spelling your own name wrong?
That's what I'm saying.
There's no way. There's no way.
Who spelled my name wrong? Oh, that was me.
And then they bring up the little thing. See how you signed it?
That would be pretty funny though. But no, I made sure I was all good. That was one of those days where it wasn't too early, so my sleep was fine.
It was like 7 in the evening.
Yeah. Literally, it was around 7 in the evening when we were doing this. So I was wide awake. Like I said, I think just a little mistake, and then another mistake that I admit. Recommended reading. I was like, okay, let me do one and get one in for TikTok. And I try to do one on my phone, and I try to edit it so that I could put writer, artist. I put that in there, upload it on TikTok to a laptop, and then I look, and I think mine comes out smaller than everybody else's. And I was more mad about that than I was mad about the mess up in the name, because I'm like, that's stupid TikTok and this and that and things I won't see on the show. But yes, I was very insulting to TikTok, and I'm not gonna do TikTok anymore. You guys could do them. And then later I was like, okay, maybe I just need to learn.
Yeah, and I can help you out with it. It's easy.
You got to edit it in portrait, not widescreen.
Yeah, I was just like edit, and then it looked fine on my laptop, and then as soon as it uploaded, it was like,
you were this tiny little box.
I was like, stupid.
And then Sonny, we're gonna have a conversation about TikTok later.
Okay, hon.
There's one thing you forgot to do that we are not happy with you about.
We'll talk about later.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure, because I was like, okay, let me pin the hashtags. But,
no, you were good. It was just one little minute thing that me and Tim been doing, and we're like, yeah, make sure you do this. You're like, I got it. All right, cool. And then you didn't do it. And then
I know what it is. I know.
And then we're like, he didn't do. Tim called me. Did you see Sonny's TikTok? I was like, yeah. He goes, he didn't do it. And I was like, I know he didn't do it. I watched it too. And
he didn't do the thing.
Why didn't you do it? And I was like, well, we told him. He's like, I know we told him. That's why I'm asking why we didn't do it. And I'm like, I don't know why he didn't do it. I can't get a hold of him.
Okay, next time I'll have a remix with TikTok. But some things I haven't been messing up on is I finished my screenplay for the Man Who Has Everything episode 1. The screenplay is completed. So
Nice.
completed that screenplay. Filming is back on for my series. So with that stuff, I'm doing good. And then I'm like, okay, let me make the schedule. And now today's Wednesday, so we're back in the Codex podcast, and things are back to normal.
Right here on twitch.tv/the
Oh,
Codex
yeah.
Station. So guys, we're back.
That's right. And you guys tell us a little more, tell everybody what Codex Station has been up to. Like I said, we were just talking about TikTok, so feel free to go more into that.
A lot more TikToks. I've got a busy weekend ahead of me. Because I may or may not be here on Wednesday, but I will definitely not be here next weekend. So I'm gonna get as much done. I've got about 32, I think I told you last night, Tim. 32 TikToks.
Yeah.
I gotta get out. And then on top of that, 5 Boom Thursday reviews. So guys, look out for those. I finally came up with a concept, so I'm gonna say it on here. I'm gonna do the first issue and the last issue of a story arc, and then kind of give my whole grading system over it. I've got a new setup, which obviously you've seen from the Regarding the Matter of Oswald's Body, which I kind of like. I'm still playing with. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, go do that. It'll be somewhere up there. And then what was I doing? Oh yeah, if it's a mini series, like a 6-issue kind of series, or a maxi series where it's only 12, I'll read the first, give the summary of the rest of them, and show you guys the 12th, 7th, or 6th issue, and do my grade from there.
Right on.
So it's gonna be a busy weekend for my boy Jamie here.
We got a lot of other stuff coming up for you too, guys. We got some decoding panels on the way, 2 new ones coming out.
Ooh, and the big announcement, Tim, his decoding panels, his personal decoding panels is coming out next week.
What are you doing without me, Tim?
Well,
without the rest of us.
A long time
He didn't
ago,
need me for this.
back in the before times of the internet and cellular phones,
Where
and
dinosaurs and cavemen were having reproduction
gasoline
problems.
powered vehicles. About 10-12 years ago, I wrote a comic book, and it was 7 pages for a card game that my brother and some friends created, and we got pretty far in the creation process of it, even got some artwork done, and I wrote the script for this comic book that was going to be like an introductory book to the card game. Got a wonderful guy to do artwork, and his name's Eric Weathers, and he did all 7 pages, letters, colors, inks, and pencils, and all that stuff. Did a phenomenal job, and it just never went anywhere beyond that. But I've got scripts done for a whole lot of other issues beyond that. But I did decoding panels for it yesterday and sent it to Jamie. Jamie has it now, so it's in his wonderfully capable hands to take care of. And along with that, we have New Mutants 98, which is finished. That's going to be on its way the week after that. We got other ones coming out for you. New Breaking the Code comes out this Friday. That's where first appearances versus cameos. Jamie and I have that wonderful conversation. Lots of interesting points being made. We've got Codex Gaming that is in the process of being reworked and restructured. That's something that's on its way, and so much more.
That's awesome, man. I'm really excited to hear to see your decoding panels about your comic that you made, man. I'm really excited to hear about.
You'll get to see it next week.
I will wait and see it with everybody else. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Next week, Tuesday.
Really cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be the easiest one I've ever done. I don't have to edit any pages. I don't gotta do much. It's in Tim's words, so it's gonna be like, "Hey guys, welcome to Decoding Panel. I'm Tim."
Yes, that's exactly how I sound.
Yeah,
and enjoy the show.
Perfect impression.
But yeah,
I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget, guys, Codex After Dark on Saturdays. I mean, we've got all kinds of cool stuff on that. We've got the TikTok reviews that are coming out, recommended readings, and our Discord is moving right along. We got the battle room in there, Green Lantern versus Nova. So take a look at that too. Lots of cool stuff for you guys.
Yeah, Green Lantern Nova, so over 4,000 views already. I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good one. So we will be having comic character of the day guys from the group. Go check them out. But we're having people come on from there. I believe that this Saturday we're having one of the guys named Sal, and then I will not be here obviously next weekend. So our number one fans, Tone Falcone, is going to be filling in for me, which I already
Tone will get to sit down and have a fireside chat.
And I believe Dan Kelly is going to be a part of that one with you guys. So, guys, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. I might not be here, but I will be jumping in the chat in spirit. So
well, maybe even I'll jump on the chat too.
Maybe you should jump on an episode with us, Sonny.
One day,
don't push our luck.
But I will say, with the recommended readings, I've been checking you guys out, and Jamie, since you're more with the modern day, and then Tim, you've been showing more of the trade paperbacks and things.
Yeah.
The other week when I was working on one of your recommended readings, I'll just say it was Superman Speeding Bullets.
Mm-hmm.
And another time a while ago, you had told me about it.
Yep.
And when I was on set, when I was working on the show, The Bear, guess what I read?
No kidding.
Speeding Bullets. Yes, I did.
Did you like it?
Oh yeah, I loved it. I'm like, okay,
nice.
One of these days we'll have to maybe do it in an episode. But yeah, so I noticed that I'm like, Tim and I have more of the same books than I thought.
So it's a good book. It's a little hokey at times, but like the Lex Luthor Joker, I thought that was really good. Yeah. But I mean, Kal-El as Batman, Bruce Wayne doesn't exist. It's wonderful.
Yes, it was great. So it's a great recommended reading by both the guys. I said, Jamie, you're leading us into more of what we should be checking out now, and Tim, some of the more classic stuff. So yeah, I've really been enjoying everything we've been doing. Like I say, except for my recommended reading, kind of got me mad. But I would learn and improve on it.
We will sit down one day and I'll be able to walk you through it. It's not a difficult process at all. But yeah, everything that I'm going to be getting on pull for like my pull list is going to be in the recommended reading areas, so that way we can kind of keep up with it.
Cool. Okay, so that is our works for the week. Mm-hmm. And now we move on to our topic of the week, which is what comic, movie, or show got it right? And as usual, Jamie has our top 3 comments of the week.
And in no particular order from Comic Character of the Day, guys. Again, go check them out. They are a lot of fun, a lot of good talk, a lot of good communication. And the guys there are just cool and, want to actually have conversations about this stuff. So go check it out. Make sure you do. So first off, we got Frank Cortell saying Legends of Tomorrow. We got Dennis Wiseman saying The Crow. They were missing the cowboy, but he was planning to make an appearance. And then Blair K, Batman, Mask of Phantasm. And the only reason I gave it that is because it was technically a first appearance of a new character in universe form. So, So guys, thank you all who answered. Thank you all who commented. And we'll see you guys on the next topic on that one. So guys, what do you guys think? What was your tops?
So we have a schedule that I will go first. And then for some TV shows, I got a few because I was like, there's so many out there now, right? So many movies and shows. So for shows, I was looking at X-Men, Spider-Man, Batman, and the Justice League, the animated series. I thought all those really did a good job of bringing it from comic book form into TV show. Even when I look at certain things like, let's say, the Dark Phoenix Saga, I'm like, multiple movies have tried to do it, but the closest thing you're going to get to the comic book is X-Men, the animated series.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so many storylines. Yeah, go with those cartoons. And then for some movies, I was going with the Dark Knight trilogy. I really liked the style. I thought it really fit in with Batman. I really loved all 3 of the movies. I think Batman Begins is really underrated. Obviously, the Dark Knight is known as one of the greatest comic book movies. And then I did like, the last one with Bane. And then 2 other ones for X-Men. I'm a big X-Men fan, but I was always kind of off with how much they would change from the comics. But I felt the one that did kind of close to the comic book and try to almost brought a lot of the comic book that almost kind of fixed the X-Men movies was X-Men Days of Future Past. I thought it did a good job. The little bits of change, I was like, you know what, I'm fine with those changes. I'm good with it being Wolverine sent back in time as opposed to Kitty Pryde.
It's not what it looks like. Well, it is what it looks like, but it's not what you think.
So I did enjoy it. And then another one too is Sin City. I really like the comic style. Like, Sin City was different. You had them like the narration, which you don't really have in a lot of superhero movies, which is something that's really in the comic books. So Sin City was another one that I put as one of the comic movies that got it right.
Right on. Those are some good picks, Sonny.
Thank you, sir.
I'm with you on Batman the Animated Series, Spider-Man the Animated Series, and X-Men the Animated Series, Justice League as well. I think those were about as close as you could get to comic books in animated form. The Dark Knight, as far as movies go, I think that they got it right, with the tone of what a Batman movie should be. Iron Man, definitely, because without it, we wouldn't be where we are today with the MCU, and they got it right. They did a Marvel movie the way it should be.
But I didn't get alcoholic Tony Stark.
No, we got him in
One
Iron
day.
Man 2.
Yeah.
As another TV show that I think got it right was Netflix Daredevil.
Mhm.
I think that was darn near spot on, with the exception of like nitpicking and U factor, personal preference. Beyond that, I think it's next to perfect. But do you know what I think is the most accurate representation from comic to the silver
If you show me a
screen?
Transformer thing, I'm gonna lose
No,
it.
Howard the Duck.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
This is better than Howard the Duck. It is the unreleased. It is the unreleased Fantastic Four movie.
Oh my, we're back on
They
this.
got it right.
Oh God, not this again.
They got it right. Dr. Doom never looked so good and has not looked as good since. The Thing with Jim Henson's work and stuff like that. Things he did with Ninja Turtles transitioned over to Ben Grimm. The Thing. He looked perfect. The suits looked good. The budget was $1 million, so they couldn't really do a whole lot. And it looked like it was made in the 1950s. But beyond that, that movie had heart, had more heart than a lot of other movies do today.
I need to see it. I definitely, been on the list, but now it's moved up the list after hearing what you said about it.
You got to watch it, Sonny. If you haven't seen it, you have to watch it.
Jamie, how about you, man?
Well, Tim, thanks for jumping ahead of me in the rotation here.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't write down who went
It's
where.
okay. It's fine. It's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. You just make more than all of us. So I was gonna say Daredevil was mine. Definitely. I think if you took out a lot of the episodes, Smallville made a lot of sense too.
Mm-hmm.
If you took out the whole Klana period and like all that
in there, I like that.
Okay, for Sonny Willie there in there. If we took out the Klana period again, and but no, the Klana pin. I think Batman animated series is definitely up there, and I think that one underrated one, Green Lantern animated series, is definitely one that you need to check out. It does do well.
Was that the one on Cartoon Network?
Yes,
is that the one you're talking about? Yeah.
Now it's on HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I would say the original Daredevil, not the Dolph Lundgren one, the one with Thomas Jane. That one did right by me.
Punisher?
You mean the Punisher?
Punisher. Sorry. And then I don't know. I think the one I talked about in our Breaking the Code, which you guys can check out up here somewhere, if you guys get a chance. Power Rangers, the movie.
Yes.
The only problem I had with that movie that wasn't accurate is they had new abilities that you'd never seen again. Like the helmets lit up, and then they had trackers. And I'm like, where was this the entire 4 seasons? I needed it.
You're talking about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the one in the mid-90s. Okay.
Yeah, with Ivan Ooze, that was Apocalypse later in X-Men.
Yes.
Van Halen music.
Oh yeah.
Dreams at the end. Yep.
Yeah, with the cast that just got brought over from the series.
Mm-hmm.
That had to be a kick in the teeth to everybody when they're like, "Hey, you guys are leaving, but we're making a movie, so the new guys, you guys are
bye."
So it was a what do you call it? It was a good one, and we have Rambo Robbie in the group right now. He just said that Doctor Strange did a decent job too.
Fair enough.
I do agree with that one as well. I mean, I don't want to try to butcher his name, Benedict
Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch.
Cumberbun.
Yeah, he did great. I can't wait for Multiverse of Madness on that aspect either to see how that goes. But
we're almost there, guys.
I want to see more screwed up. I want to see the cabinet wardrobe area that leads into another world that he has to take care of. That's it.
Oh, that's the Lion the Witch in the wardrobe, man.
No, this is you're gonna understand what I'm telling you about later. So calm down there, Sonny. We know
you know spoilers that we don't know.
Yeah, Oprah Winfrey comes down, everyone gets a ticket.
Oh my god.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm very happy with like what the so far with what we've seen. So I can't really complain.
Right on.
All right, guys. Well, that was a good topic of the week. We'll have another topic of the week coming up soon. You'll see we'll post it online and kind of character of the day. And now we move on to one of the fun things when we get to compete against each other in Do You Know?
It's not healthy competition either, because this gets bloody every week.
It's not that it does. It's just that you guys cheat, and it's okay.
I know what you guys are going to ask me.
Yeah, because this is Sonny. When we ask the question, Sonny does this.
Yes, all over my
Sonny
wall.
does research.
I just have. I know what you guys are going to ask me randomly, and then I just write them all around my wall.
Quick, Sonny, pick a number between 1 and 12.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
you are correct. Yes. So what's the order today? Who's going when?
It's
today,
me, Sonny, and then you, Tim.
Okay.
That's right. So we'll start us off.
All right. So
Green Lantern.
Question, yeah, it is actually. No,
what is Green Arrow, the Longbow Hunters? Yes, thank you.
Horrible. Yes. So we all know there's been a lineage of Robins throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But do you know, and there's 5 technical answers. I just need one correct answer from you guys for this. Do you know how Tim Drake found out who Batman and Robin were in real life?
Just there's possible time. You said there's 5 possible answers.
There's 5 possible answers, and all you need to do is get one right.
I'm gonna say the Scarecrow fear serum or whatever it is, his stuff. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
The fear toxin.
The fear toxin.
Yeah.
He found out who they were through the fear toxin.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say he was spying on. I'm gonna say he was spying on them and saw them take off their masks.
Okay. Tim's wrong. Sonny, you get a point. The 5 possible answers was when Tim met Dick Grayson and saw what happened the night of his parents when they died, because he was still wearing the same uniform then as he was as Robin. So we have that and the costume change, which is similar. He saw that Batman was there to take care of Dick Grayson, and then later on found out that Dick Grayson was adopted by Bruce Wayne. So he put 2 and 2 together there.
Interesting.
He found out that Dick Grayson became Nightwing. Robin was no longer around until Jason Todd took up the mantle. And then he also read the news about Jason's death and noticed that there was a Robin missing.
Interesting.
Makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
Fear toxin had nothing to do with any of that.
Nope. No, sir. I love how you look so confident in that one too. And you're like, it was the fear toxin. It was the fear toxin. That's all it was.
And that was the furthest thing from any possible correct answer ever.
Or maybe Scarecrow, he was somewhere miles away.
Sure.
Right. Fear toxin on something.
Mixing up fear toxin. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, moving on.
Okay, so my turn. So my question is today, one random, one that goes with our show, one that goes with our comic news, and one that goes with what we were reading. So I'll start us off with our show. So April Fool's Day was on Friday. So let me get you guys in something a little bit that can make me laugh. So some of the greatest villains in comic history: Thanos, Darkseid, the Joker, but one beats them all. His name is Tatterdemalion, who was used as a picture in my one shot with Stephen Grant. A couple weeks ago, I asked you its name. Now let's see if you guys remember. What is Tatterdemalions' real name?
Grant Stephen. I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't remember that one at all.
Sonny, you're cracking up too hard over this.
So I remember I mentioned it 2 weeks ago, but I'm like, I bet you guys forgot.
Yeah.
We do so much. It's not even like there's stuff that I will remember that it will be like, okay, cool. That's actually something interesting. That one did not interest me at all. So it just exited them.
I may have to get you guys this one in like 5 weeks or something again. Tatterdemalion. Tatterdemalian's real name is Arnold Paffenroth.
What in the world?
I remember the Arnold. I don't remember the last name.
Arnold
I remember
Paffenroth.
none of it.
I'm like, I need to get you guys to Tatterdemalion again.
Oh
I now
my
love that
God.
character.
I didn't know we could rewrite old ones and use them
But
again.
before it was what is the character's name in the issue, and then now it was Tatterdemalian's actual name.
Oh, okay.
Sonny's gonna get every appearance of him now.
Yeah.
Next
Arnold
week he'll
Paffenroth.
have them all.
What is
Yes.
the seventh
Mail
appearance
call Arnold
of
Paffenroth.
Arnold?
He needs
Oh
to
my
be in a
God.
movie all around him. No more Morbius, just Arnold Paffenroth.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, this guy that we are reviewing today is the center of topic of conversation for my questions. So, do you know what the first live action appearance of Green Arrow was?
Smallville.
Smallville.
You are both correct. It is Smallville. Justin Hartley
Yep.
played Oliver Queen / Green Arrow. And
Fun fact: did you know that Justin Hartley wasn't originally supposed to be Green Arrow?
he was supposed to be Aquaman. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
He did one episode for a pilot, and then they're like, "We think, let's bring you over here."
Let's have you do Oliver Queen instead.
Wait, is
So,
there footage of that on YouTube?
I think so.
Aquaman one?
Yeah,
You're
no,
training a few years ago.
there's a pilot. The pilot's on HBO Max.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay. Oh, wow.
But yeah, it was close to the end of season 6 in an episode called Sneeze. That is where Oliver Queen / Green Arrow made his first live action debut.
Good thing you didn't ask us the name of the question, because I don't think we would have guessed Sneeze.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
What was the name of the episode?
Okay, so there we go.
All right, Jamie, it's up to you. Question
Me
number
too.
2.
Jamie won.
Yep, me, Big Fat Zero, as always.
All right. So with this, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I just need the name of the comic. I don't need an issue number. I don't need a year. I just need the name of the comic. Okay. So we all know that Green Arrow has his ward, which is Roy Harper.
Mhm.
What do you know in which comic did Roy Harper lose his arm?
Green Arrow and Green Lantern.
Outsiders.
Is that final answer from both of you?
Yes,
Both of you are wrong. It was Justice League: The Rise of Arsenal.
that was my next guess.
I know.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, in that it bleeds into A Cry for Justice. And Prometheus is the actual one that cuts off his arm. And you just see him
Wow.
holding his big old bicep because he over exaggerated how big he was back then. And it was like, oh no. And he's like sitting there crying, screaming. And it was like the one time I looked at a comic, I'm like, oh, that just went horribly wrong.
Wow. That happened.
Yeah.
Okay, Sonny, question number
Okay.
2.
I won't say you have to do the issue number. But since earlier we were talking about Blade, we're talking about Blade's daughter. We know when Bloodline is gonna make her first appearance.
Mm-hmm.
But do you know the first appearance of Blade?
Tomb of Dracula.
I'm going to go with Tomb of Dracula.
You want the issue number 2?
Wrong. It is the Tomb of Dracula.
Yeah.
Tomb of Dracula. It's the Tomb of Dracula.
You forgot the.
So you're both right. Yeah.
It's number 17, right?
Dang, I should have said number. It was number 10.
Oh, I was close.
It was 10.
See, Jamie
So
got
Jamie
it right.
knew it. He knew it all along.
I'm on the
Okay.
board. That's all that matters.
I'm
So
a genius.
2-2-1. Now Tim's turn.
Okay. So, going back with Green Arrow. During the Silver Age, a lot of heroes had their own particular cities that they fought crime in. Batman had Gotham, Superman had Metropolis. Do you know what city Green Arrow did most of his crime fighting in during the Silver Age?
So
You want me to go first, or do you know it?
I'm just gonna go for it and say Seattle.
Okay.
Star City.
Sonny, you are wrong. Jamie, you are right.
See,
I've been doing this the whole
I
time.
I didn't want to copy you. So let me just take a guess myself.
I didn't even know. I was just because at one point, because the Stephen Amell version, it was called Starling City, and that was what I was gonna go first. And then I kept doing this, so I was like, I gotta go with Star City because I think that's it.
So, Sonny, you're not wrong in the sense that he does fight crime in Seattle, but that's later.
Yeah. So in Silver Age, though, right?
Yep, Silver Age, yeah, and even up into the early beginnings of the modern age, before Longbow Hunters, he was in Star City. That was his major spot. That was his hometown. That's where he fought crime. So there we go. All right,
3, 2, 1.
Yep, Jamie's at 3. Sonny, you were at
3.
2. I'm at number 1.
And it's me, right? Question.
Yes.
Okay, so we all know there's a lot of Flashes in the world.
Yeah.
But there's only 2 Wally Wests. One is the one that we want to use. And so that one's going to be the one that's married to Linda Park. Do you guys know what are the names of Wally West and Linda Park's children? And there's 2 of them. So I need the answers.
Northwest and Southeast.
This ain't Kanye's kid.
Okay.
No. They're brought up a lot in the comics. That's why I had this question.
I don't know enough about Flash to give a correct answer. So
Wally
I'm going to say
Flash.
no, I don't know.
Oh.
I have
Wally, Wally Jr. and Sarah.
Yeah.
Very close, Sonny. It's actually Jay and Eris.
Oh, okay. See, I was right there.
You were right there, buddy. Right there.
I had so much faith in you.
It's
not easy when you can't look up at your wall at your cheat sheet and get the answer, is it now?
Just to know, I think Wally and Sarah West are close with the Scarecrow.
Yeah, they huff fear
Yeah.
toxin every other day so they can feel a little bit better about themselves.
Wow, that's amazing.
Okay. So my next question does have to deal with Green Arrow, the Longbow Hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what Marvel comic referenced Green Arrow, the Longbow Hunters in the name of one of their issues?
Like they mentioned it.
What character?
Name?
What comic? Look, what comic book? You know, like the name of the comic book itself. Not looking for number.
I think I know this.
I'm gonna say Daredevil.
I was gonna say Daredevil too.
You're both wrong.
I figured.
It is the Sensational She-Hulk.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
In the Sensational She-Hulk issue number 16, it was a part of a 4-part series, and it was called the Cosmic Squish Principle. Yeah, it was a 4-part, and let me get you all of these names that were there. And the names of the 4 were, one of them was a baloney place of dying. Then it was Secret Warts, and then part 3 was the lowbrow hunters.
Oh my god!
Yes, and then the act of Pervisious. Yeah. Yes. So It was the Sensational She-Hulk.
That's wonderful.
And Howard the Duck was with She-Hulk on that 4-part story arc.
That's why I made it perfect.
That's wonderful.
Okay, Tim.
All right. So last question. Comic characters, it's no secret that they die a lot and they get brought back a lot. But when Green Arrow died, do you know what city he died trying to protect?
Star City.
That was Seattle.
No. The answer is Metropolis.
Metropolis. Oh
yeah.
Yes.
Oh man. My mic was like I was.
So in Green Arrow issues
see?
100 through 101, he infiltrates a terrorist organization called the Eden Corps. And he sacrifices his life to prevent them from detonating a bomb that would destroy all of Metropolis. Green Arrow 100 and 101.
Okay, so that was at 90s run.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, before the Kevin Smith run.
Yeah, that was before Quiver.
Okay. Yes. Yep.
Okay.
And
I was wondering because he died in Seattle during that. No, he died in Seattle for Future's End. That was my fault. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, and that's more recent though, right?
Yeah.
So there you go, Jamie. You win today.
This is what happens when you don't let Sonny cheat.
How would I know? How would I know your answer? How would I know your questions?
Because every time we were doing it was always funny. I know you don't, but it was always funny because the last couple episodes where we were all doing topics, it was the same realm. So if it was Red Hood or whatever, and every time we'd ask a question, your eyes went like this. I think the answer is, and then you'd give your answer and it was right. And I'm like, is he cheating?
That's me looking away from notes, thinking. I think before I speak.
No. Looking away is I wonder what.
Hey, that's your screen next to you, though.
But when you're sitting there, you're like, yeah, but my hands, I'm always doing this. My hands, my hands are here or my face is on the mic. There's no in between.
Yes,
you don't see you don't ever. Oh, wait, the answer is.
Wait a minute. Let me look real quick. Okay.
You would hear my keys.
One day I'll have to take you guys through a zoom around my office and be like, look, there's no.
Yeah, because you're gonna need time to take all of it down.
Just when you do that, Sonny, just make sure to leave the tape up on the wall so we can see where your notes were.
That was for filming.
Oh, right.
I know where to stand.
Yeah, storyboards. I get it. Absolutely.
We get it. Okay.
All good and fun. All right, guys. Do you know what's in the book? And now it's time to review.
And Jamie won.
Yes.
Yeah.
He won.
He's gonna be riding that for 2
hell
weeks.
Is frozen over. He's leaving the show next week. He won. He's like, I'm leaving the show now.
Yeah, they can't take away my win if I'm not there.
Oh my god.
I was gonna try my hardest to be on the show, but now I'm not.
Nope.
Guys, sorry, it's my birthday that day. I can't make it.
It's been a month since you've been back.
But he'll be in the chat, Sonny. So
I can ask my questions from the chat.
We can make fun of him there.
Oh, guess who's getting fired that day, Sonny? You're just gonna have to take over the episode by yourself.
All right, guys. Yep, it is time to review Green Arrow, the Longbow Hunters. And Tim, as usual, do you want to get us set up with the credits?
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty easy credits.
Well, yeah. So the Longbow Hunters writing and artwork belong to Mike Grell with assists by Lorraine Haynes. So Mike did art and inks and et cetera. Colors go to Julia, and I'm going to pronounce her last name wrong, Laquament, I guess. And letters go
Aquament.
to that too. Letters go to the ever-talented Ken Bruzenak, and we know that name, gentlemen, from Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
All right. You starting off the review, or do you want to?
Go ahead, CSK.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here we go. Green Arrow, the Longbow Hunters. So it came out in 1987, and I think the artwork is very cool, very different looking story. It takes place in 3 books. They're about 47 pages. So we start the story off in Seattle. We find out there's the Seattle slasher, someone who's killing women. So obviously Green Arrow is looking to find out who this is. But we see Green Arrow and a Black Canary. We see them living their life together. They're getting along. They're talking a bit about being old. Well, Green Arrow saying, hey, I believe he said he's 43 now, but he still doesn't feel like he's done. He just feels like he's getting older. And he starts to mention to her about having a family. I'd like to have kids. And she even says our job, it's too dangerous with what we do. We can never have kids because I would not want to leave our kids to be orphans. So Green Arrow continues on. He's searching for this killer who is the Seattle slasher who's killing more and more as time goes by. Eventually he finds as he's doing his research, he finds out that there was this man. He finds him in a tunnel. He finds out that there was a man who was a tunnel rat in the Vietnam War. And for those of you who don't know, they were usually short men. They would go into these little tunnels to find out where the enemy was, and it was very dangerous.
And then sometimes they would crash into each other, and then have to fight.
Yeah, to the death. So yeah, very dangerous job.
Sorry, I love that part in my mind. I don't know why I stuck there.
No problem at all. Yeah, eventually, so these two confront each other. Green Arrow stops him, and then we found out that there is more going on with Black Canary. Dina is looking into a connection. She's trying to figure out what's going on there. And then as we see these other guys, some of their names, the ones in charge of them are Gregory Osborne and Kyle Magnor. And then one of the guys working for them is suddenly, as Green Arrow stops the Seattle slasher, we see somebody else at the bow and arrow kills one of the men working for Osborne and Magnor. And that is when we are introduced and we meet Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
So we move on to book number 2. Book number 1 was The Hunters. Book number 2 is Dragon Hunt. And in Dragon Hunt, we find out a lot more about Shadow. We find out about her past, how she was the daughter of the Yakuza, someone in the Yakuza. We see how she was trained, how she learned all of her stuff, all of her skills. And then we see more of Dina going more into she's diving deeper into her case. But Oliver is still looking in. He's making sure she's okay. He's like, I need to just let her do what she's doing. But he keeps a little bit of a close eye. And she gets herself in some trouble. And he finds her by going to this bar. I really like the name of the bar.
Yes.
Ask you guys a question. The bar is called My Mother's. Yes. So he finds out where
greatest
she
name
is.
ever.
Yeah.
Let's go to My Mother's.
Exactly. So yeah, he finds out eventually where she is. He finds her in. It was very surprising to me that she was being horribly tortured. We see her eye is closed. She only has a little bit of a shirt on, and it's unbuttoned. She's pouring blood. And Green Arrow and Shadow jump in to make the rescue. And with that, I don't want to get too far into the story and give all these spoilers, but I think it's a great story. Right off the bat, guys, as soon as I opened it and I looked, I was like, oh, I'm really gonna like this one. I can tell it's darker. The artwork is different. It's not your typical comic book, but it's really very story driven. Not too much on the super villains or out of this world characters, but just a truly story driven story arc. And I think it's an incredible story. I'm like, oh, I need to read more Green Arrow after this. I'm a huge fan of the story, and I'm like, oh, what do I give the rating? Because right off the bat, I'm like, I'm loving it. And then to me, I think that
I'm going to call 9.7, Jamie.
I know.
I know.
Over here.
I'm thinking about what you guys are. I'm thinking about what I should do. If I should give it a 9.7, if I should give it a 10 out of 10, because I think it's just truly an incredible story.
BSK.
It's truly an incredible story. And then I'm like, the ending, I did want to see a little more out of the ending. I would have liked to see, I felt like something was a little bit missing, but right off the bat, I was loving it. So I'm going to pull a Jamie. I'm going to say my head says 9.7 and my heart says 10 out of 10. So with that,
mine was a pettiness. There was a big difference between what you just said and what I'm saying. Mine was a pettiness score of like 5 because it took 5 years for the book to come out. And I'm talking about 3 Jokers. Go check out that episode that we did. So yeah, it wasn't my head and my heart. It was my head and my head.
So 10 out of 10, Sonny?
You know what? I'm going to say 9.8 because I would have liked a little bit of a bigger ending. So 9.8 on this story is truly a classic. And I do love Green Arrow, the Longbow Hunters, and I can definitely recommend it. And I'm excited to see what you guys have to say about it.
Ooh, I'm getting into this one because I have some fun to talk about. The thing it was missing most for me was my jaw. It was dropped. I love this book from the beginning.
You are such a liar, Jamie.
The whole time we've been telling Tim you went off the air during the pre-show, and I was like, Sonny, just let you know I love this book, but I'm screwing with Tim.
Every time I ask him before you get on, Sonny, Jamie, what'd you think about it? It's the worst Green Arrow story ever.
I literally told him, like, dude, this was horrible for like it made no sense, and he agreed in some points.
I'm just not gonna ask you anymore.
I made up points, and he's like, yeah, you know what, you got a point there.
I'm just not gonna ask anymore. You're done.
No, Sonny hit the whole story on the head. My favorite part about this whole thing was that we had Shadow finally introduced into it, and we had a concept of her character and what she was and what she could be. And I love the fact that this story paves the way for all the other Green Arrow stories, which,
Done.
It really
Jason's
does. I
Tim
mean,
has quit today.
No, it has a lot to do with what's going on in current Green Arrow and past Green Arrow as well. So to sit there and see that, and there's some things I could, like Sonny alluded to, like the ending I thought could have been a little bit better. I like the way it did end, but I felt like there could have been more. I feel like there could have been
talking about like where it was that dead panel and then it went
not
to
the epilogue. Right. Yeah, it was that dead panel and then to the epilogue.
That one, yeah.
I like the fact that what do you call it? They had that Diana and Ollie kind of like, well, I want kids, well, I don't, because I don't want them to be orphans. And that kind of stuck with me. And I was like, oh, okay, like that makes the most sense. And then near the end, Oliver kind of gets it. It's like, yeah, I don't want that for us either. Maybe when I give up the superhero thing one day, or she's like, maybe we'll give up the superhero thing one day. He's like, don't knock the superhero thing. He's like, it's great. But overall,
10 out of 10.
I give the writing a 9.
Okay.
And I give the art an 8. So overall 8.5 for me.
Ooh.
I mean, I loved it. I love what happened. I wish the story was a 6-issue series instead of a 3, because I felt like they crammed so much into 3 issues that there was more room to expand.
Right. I would have liked to have seen it going long. I guess it is not technically not a bad thing when you really want to continue. But I was like, man, it's so quick. But I mean,
that's good because
like with
it continues on in New Moon, and Jamie's gonna love that too.
I'm gonna hate it. When it hit issue 2, I was like, how does this end in one more? Like, there's no way it ends in one more. And then I was like, it ends in one more. And then it was like
pages,
forward.
no ads.
Yeah, Austin. Yeah, like I said, the books, all 3 are amazing. One part before we get into yours, Tim, that was pretty interesting. In book 2, I really like how they did a flashback. In comics, I don't see many flashbacks. We see having a flashback about his conversation, about having kids. And if you notice in the one panel, you see that he's naked while having this flashback. Yeah, and then he's naked while singing himself "Happy Birthday."
Yeah, he's like "Happy Birthday to me."
And he's naked.
that was the one thing
that to yourself, you can be naked.
That was one thing that the art kind of dropped for me for, was because of the fact that there was like, okay, the what do you call it? Dinah being held up on the ropes and stuff, and her shirt cut open. Understandable, but we didn't need that throughout the whole book. Like, that's what I felt like we got throughout the whole book. Every interaction between Oliver and her was just that. It was like, oh, nudity without nudity.
That she was more sex appeal is just, she's a great character, Mom. Like, she doesn't need to just be there. Like, she's more than just sex.
Right. You can say that for later issues and fillers.
Well, I mean, like, if you look at it, even with her sub story in the books, Jamie, with what you're saying, maybe she was just used more as a plot device than an actual progression of storyline. You know what I mean?
But a plot device is a progression of story.
Well, I mean,
you plant the device to get to the story.
Not a character that is a major part of the story. You know what I mean? Because
I get that, but to be that good of a character, to have that kind of stability over the years. And to be used in that such a manner, to me, diminishes that character a little bit for me.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
See, and that goes into my review about this a little bit. Like, it's a super adult book.
Watch, Tim gives it a 5.
I give it a 1.5.
I loved it. I give it a 5.5
out of 100. No, it's a super adult book. It's very adult for the times. Like, when it came out, this was the era of Watchmen in year 1 and The Dark Knight Returns and things like that. And this was Green Arrow's story during that time period. I mean, the artwork has a very independent feel to it, unlike what other books had for their artwork and things like that were more mainstream, more comic book. This is more independent to me, makes it even better for a mainstream title in a mainstream comic book company. The topics that are dealt with in this book are sensitive topics, even back then, and more so now. And, like rape and assault and et cetera, things like that, and what Dinah goes through throughout the course of all 3 books, and drug use and massive violence and all of that stuff. It fits for the story. It's great for the story. It makes for one of the best, if not the best, Green Arrow stories ever written. And I think one of the best attempts at restructuring and reintroducing a character that nobody really cared about at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I give this a 10 out of 10 all the way through. This is my 10 out of 10. I think this is an absolutely wonderful story. It's a story that everybody needs to read. And if you're not a Green Arrow fan, when you go into it, you will be after it's over.
Agreed.
And it needs to be said that Longbow Hunters was major inspiration for the Arrow TV show too.
Yeah. So there we go. There we go. Green Arrow, the Longbow Hunters. So we can pretty much all agree that it's a classic, and we could recommend it. Everybody checks it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I loved it. And like I said earlier in the pre-show, I was placing a bid to get more Green Arrow. So it did its job. Yeah.
Yeah, Sonny. So you do 9.8. Jamie gives it a very solid 8.5, and I give it a 10 out of 10. Great reviews all around.
All right. And now Jamie's pick for our next book to review.
So these two were brought up in the podcast today, and I planted that seed for a reason. So next book is going to be 4 issues, and it is a crossover with Doctor Strange and the Punisher called Magic Bullets.
Ooh.
Cool. Magic Bullets.
Yeah, very good read. I thought it was a very good read. I want to see your guys' reviews on them, so definitely go check it out for everybody out there. So that way when we do the review, which would probably be in 2 weeks because I'm not going to probably be here next week, get the review in. Let us know what you think too. And let us know what you think about Longbow Hunters.
I would have never thought Doctor Strange and the Punisher would have ever teamed up.
Never. And then they did. And then I was like, I need it.
Wow, that's amazing. That's going to be fun.
Yeah. So it's called Magic Bullets.
It's called Magic Bullets.
Bullets that are magic in it.
You'll see. You'll see.
Right.
If they don't fight Dormammu, I riot.
Well, good news is, thanks for showing up, everybody, today. And I hope
yeah, with all jokes aside, that really is our show. Everything has been taken care of. We had a good time. I enjoyed making sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. These guys do that stuff better than I do. But take care. I'll see you next week. Another episode of the Codex Podcast.
I love Sonny's outros. He's like, these guys do it better. Just let him talk. But no, guys, as always, be kind to one another. You never know what anyone's going through out there, and a smile could change someone's day. So make sure to do that. Also, make sure you guys will, comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, either here or there, YouTube or Twitch, whatever platform you guys feel like. I know Tim will get into more of it later. I'm going to pull a Sonny right now, but if you guys follow it down here, you guys are going to be fine. As always, guys, I will see you in the next one.
And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, you wonderful, wonderful audience of the Codex Podcast, we are on all social medias. That would be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, over on YouTube, right here on Twitch. We are on TikTok, and we even have a Discord. All you guys got to do is type in the Codex Station, and that is where you will find us. Once again, guys, my name is Tim. These two wonderful gentlemen above me, Jamie and Sonny, we are the Codex Podcast. This is the Codex Station, and we will see you next time.